So if we go over here to the practice automation page, and let me get rid of these commands. Using the delete key, I got rid of all those commands. I don't need the script anymore. What you can do here at the automation practice page is use the Selenium IDE to help you with identification of objects. That is a very deep topic that we're going to discuss, because remember what I mentioned before, that with Selenium, whether IDE or WebDriver, the hardest thing about writing the tests is the object identification. So you can use Selenium IDE to kind of help you cheat a little bit, and it's kind of like a object spy. So for example, if I wanted to click on this button, you can click the record, and you can click on this button. If you wanted to click on this button, you can click on that button. And finally, you can click on this button as well. So let me stop this recording. Come back to this page. And now let's take a look at these identifiers. Let me remove this so that it doesn't confuse you. And now we have 3 click actions, right? We clicked on this Google Plus button, this Google Plus button, and this Google Plus button. As you can read from this page, these are all non-unique objects, and there's only one button that actually works. And based on that, you can probably see that it's this button which actually has a value. So if you want to figure out which button this is, all you have to do is come over here with it selected and click find. And you guys see that? Over here it highlights it for you. Okay? How about if you wanted to click on another button? Let's try and find this one. See that? It found that one. And then this one should be the third one. You guys see that? So it kind of helps you with object identification. The one thing that I want you guys to take note of is look at these target values. These target values point to a specific location of this element in the HTML. And if you look at this path, you can kind of think of it as like a file path on a system, right? The file path on a system leads to one unique file that can open. If that file path is not correct, it's either not going to open the right file, or it just won't be able to do anything because the file doesn't exist. But look at in this case, even though we have 2 different buttons, right? If I find this one and then find that one, we have 2 different buttons being highlighted, but the path to those buttons is exactly the same. Does that seem weird to you guys? Well, it's not, because the path is exactly the same. And the way Selenium IDE recognizes those elements is not always the best way sometimes. It just does whatever works for it. But if we were to play back the script, then the chances are that it will break. In fact, let me run that for you. It's going to click on the Google Plus, and then you guys see that over here, this became red and it stopped. Why did it stop? Because of this unexpected exception, and the test case failed. And it's very simple. I can explain to you guys exactly why. Because it clicked on this button, the button opened a new page, and that new page was now the focus of the script. It was no longer this page. But remember, we were here at this page clicking buttons, and that wasn't even recorded. And so right away, you get to see how brittle this test is, because after recording it one time and trying to rerun it, it already doesn't work, because the recording tool is just not able to capture all of the logic that we desire.